Welcome, folks. This is Euro USD, and in this video, this will be an introduction to breaker blocks and also breakaway gaps. So this is a 1 minute chart. So this is today's price action. As you can see, we're having the market is open. So this is today's price action. So today we had this was the news that came in at 8:30. We had this push to the upside. We came back down again. Then we went swept these highs right there. So a breaker block is basically a high that has taken buy side, or a low that has taken sell side. That's simple. So as you can see, we had buy side right here. We went up, took the buy side, came all the way down, and then price came back into the breaker block. So this is a breaker. So the way we define a breaker is let me expand this. So the way you define a breaker is we having a high, a low, and a higher high, which has taken these highs, and it has also taken this high. So that becomes a breaker. And also we had here we had this inversion fair value gap. We had that, and also we had this gap. So this, to me, if we take this anchor to that high, we're just marking the fair value gap. So to me, this is a balanced price range. We had a single pass to the upside and then a single pass to the downside. So this fair value gap will act as a breakaway gap because this is already balanced. And again, we are inside of a breaker. So this is a bearish breaker. So the way you mark a breaker is you take this box, okay, to the high of the most down close candle, and then extend it through. So as you can see, we hit that and then we reversed right there. So as you can see, there was no candle close above the breaker. So we had that, we shifted lower, then we had an inversion fair value gap right here. So this would have been your entry if you were to use this breaker and allow this to be a breakaway gap. So your stop will just be above the breaker, simply because we're expecting price not to reprice into these inefficiency, because it is already balanced. Because here we had a single pass to the upside and then we had this single pass to the downside. So if you extend that through, this becomes a balanced price range. So there is no need for price going into that area. So we had that, then we shifted lower. We had this as an inversion fair value gap right there. Also, if you are quite not aggressive with your entries, we had this fair value gap after a shift in market structure. We took this low and also we took this low. So we had a shift in market structure, fair value gap, then that would have been your entry. Targeting, this was the daily fair value gap on Euro USD. So that is basically all about breaker blocks and breakaway gaps. So a breakaway gaps is a gap whereby you don't expect price to reprice to, and that will be in such a case whereby we're having maybe a breaker, or we're having an inversion fair value gap right there, or we have already taken buy side like this. So if we take our fib, anchor it from this low to this high, as you can see, this is the midpoint. We were at premium, so this breaker was at premium, and also we had this was an inefficiency which was at premium. So because we had already taken buy side right here, there was no need for price to go back in again. So we expected that price would respect the breaker because we are at premium level, and then we sell those to targeting this low, and eventually targeting these this fair value gap. So that's all about breakers, and this is a bearish breaker. The inverse or the opposite is always true. You can also have a bullish breaker whereby sell side has been taken and then we shifted higher. So that means that since we had already taken a sell side, there's no need for price going back into that. So that was it. So that's a breaker. For those who don't understand what a breaker is, that's a breaker. So if you don't understand, maybe you'd like me to expound more on that, or maybe you'd like to know more or see more examples, maybe you can put it into the comments and we'll take a look at that. So that's all for today. And until I see you next time, be safe.